My name is Norma Gregory. I'm here today with Lee Arbouin, the writer. She's written The Nottingham Connection, and we're here today at the Nottingham News Centre to hear about her background, some knowledge about her book and why she's written that book, and her life in Nottingham. So what set it off?
The inspiration really came when I said to Olga, who was a contributor in the book, we need our history told, and as women we need our history told from that feminine angle. And I asked if she'd be interested in being a contributor to something that I'd like to put together about women in Nottingham. And she said, yes, only if you also did, you did yours too. I wasn't really interested in writing about me. But then I thought, well, if I want it done, and if I'm going to ask people to bare their souls to the public, then I really ought to be prepared to bare mine too.
So the characters are based on real people?
It is real.
Yeah.
It's biographical.
Yeah.
It's not a made-up story. It's not fiction. It's biographical, yes.
Yeah. So the people in the story, do you still keep in touch with them?
I do indeed, yes.
Yeah. Okay. So are you working on another book?
I have a book of poetry, really, for children, and I'm hoping that I'll get it illustrated, because it won't be fun without being illustrated. And it's, about Sharamstamish the cat and Raju the three-legged cat and two cats and a dog, all stories in rhyme, and the children can join in. And I've used it in schools when I go into schools to talk to children. The next one I'm sending in is called Revelation, and it's really about a wife and husband who seem to have the perfect marriage, but he's really gay, and how they cope with that. And so it's touching on issues very relevant to our society today.
So which writers inspire you?
Gosh, lots of writers inspire me. I love Toni Morrison. I love, there's so many of them, women and men, I like romance. Wuthering Heights was one of the things I really loved. Bronte, both that's Emily, but I also like Charlotte Bronte's novels as well, and those were the ones that I was fed on as a child, and reading things like Lorna Doone and those things. But then as I became more liberated and re-educated and more African-centered, then obviously I read more from a black woman's perspective or from black people's perspective.
So Lee, tell us about how Nottingham City has supported your work as an author.
Well, I wouldn't say Nottingham City supported my work as an author, but I was very honoured earlier this year when the City Council had a civic reception to thank me for my work, my over 40 years or so as a teacher and community activist in Nottingham. And it was really nice. The mayor and the then Sheriff Merlita, who's now the Lord Mayor, organised it. It was very nice, very grateful. Yes.
So how do you think young authors, or not even so young, but women, female writers, how can they get published? How can they get their
I think
work?
publishing is so difficult. Writing is difficult in itself, but because we are not part of the writing scheme of things out there, the publishing, I should say, scheme of things, it is still very much who you know. All the writers, the black writers that I have met, they either went to Oxford or Cambridge, or they knew people, and that's how they've got into it, Ordinary writers, it's very, very difficult, very difficult. I mean, I've self-published because I tried a couple of publishing houses, and they all wanted me to get, what's the person called? The one who organises, an agent,
yeah.
yes, and all the rest of it, and I just gave up, yes.
Yeah.
So it is very difficult. And I think what we need to do as black people, I mean, I'm convinced that we must look within ourselves. And I mean, I think we should have our own schools, and I also think we should have our own publishing houses, because that's the only way we'll go forward. That's what's happened in America, and that's what we'll have to do too here. And it's so wonderful to see what you're doing here. So good luck.
Thank you very much. Thank you.